and you're live.
Nice, nice. So, so again, a pleasant good evening to our Facebook family, our Instagram family, as well as our YouTube family. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. It's all about natural health. It's all about nutrition. It's all about exercise. It's all about proper diet ethics. It's all about meditation because it's a matter of really bringing balance to different parts of the body. We had a very interesting, or a few interesting discussions today. We actually had a really good live um, today that started. We started at 1:30 because we had some little technical difficulties, and we went till about 3:15. So anywhere between about an hour and 45 minutes. And on that live, I actually had some guests that I was joined with. One was actually Big Mike from Big Mike Wellness Center. I also had Miss Gloria Charles. I also had Miss Arlene Mohammed and Peter Sam as well. And that information is on our Facebook page. You could always take a look at it. There is actually a competition running that we're doing. And the reason why we did that is to really boost awareness for what that symposium involved earlier today. And what it really involved was us trying to and helping individuals to understand, the importance of health. And, we actually highlighted a particular product there. It's something that I have used personally for myself. Um, I had used that product first time like maybe about 19 years ago. And then I was reintroduced to it. And, it was part of my supplemental regime as regards to diet, nutrition, and that type of thing. And we had a number of persons on, and that is something that Batson Associates is going to be doing a lot of in the near future in terms of partnering with other individuals, like-minded individuals, to really bring you information, because information is very important. Keep in mind we are live on our social media platforms. We have Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. We already have Miss Shireen Jack is here with us. I know she was with us earlier today. We also have Miss Kamala Samaru, who was also with us earlier today, and she herself mentioned that the program today that we had was very informative. So I'm really glad to hear that you indeed got some information from that particular segment that we had. We are live on our Instagram. We are Batson Associates TT on Instagram. Miss Annette Skinner, 19, has joined us, as well as Carrie Bay has also joined us as well. One of the things that we highlighted on that product, we wanted you guys to be very careful, because you have some little imitation in the marketplace now with everything. So you need to be very careful as regards to that. So ensure that you really contact someone who was on the live with the information that we have provided there, so that you could get an authentic product, so that you would now have an authentic experience, based on the potency and the efficacy of that product. We also have Leeds and Associates has actually joined us. That real estate company. I know a lot of their persons would have done stuff with us. A pleasant good afternoon to you. No Name Noel has also joined us as well. So that information, guys, the video is there. That is the interactive health program that we had. And we actually have a package running with that, where you could actually win a prize. And I always try to give persons, or we always try to give persons back, especially when they show interest and they share the information that we have with so many other persons. So that package that we have is actually valued at $2,500. So what you're going to actually get, the person who actually wins that prize, is actually going to get a number of products and services from Batson Associates valued at $2,500. So don't allow that to go. What you need to do is like that post, tag us, share us, and well, of course, you have to be following the page. And then there's a part where you actually have to fill out some information. We don't need too much information from you. We just need your name, telephone number, and an email address. Okay, guys. So make sure and check that out on the page. I'm going to forward some more information for you before we leave, and we're going to have that provided for you. Subsequent to that, I had a program today. We actually did Synergy today, Synergy TV, and that was actually from like about 4:45 to about 5 p.m. So just about 15 minutes. And we had a very interesting discussion there. We touched on polycystic ovarian syndrome. We also touched on poor circulation as it relates to strokes. So ischemic strokes, hemorrhagic strokes. We highlighted, what to look for. Because the thing is, your body often speaks to you, and this is something I always tell persons: your body speaks to you, but a lot of times you may not know how to listen. And I was giving examples as regards to cognitive function when you start to experience things like blurred vision. You're seeing halos, you're seeing like lights flashing across or in front of you. When you start to experience issues with headaches, unexplained headaches, don't ever let someone give you the opinion that it is all right to have headaches on a regular basis. If you have headaches on a frequent basis, it is a serious alarm that something is wrong in the body. Headaches are not normal, and it is not something that you should have on a regular basis. If you are a person who has headaches frequently, regardless of your diagnosis, whether they tell you have migraine headaches or cluster headaches or all of the other types of headaches, you have to understand that a headache is an indication that something is wrong. Most of the time, it is a sign that you do not have sufficient blood circulation in the brain or the cerebral hemisphere. So it's very, very important to pay attention to that. Look at aspects associated with the eyesight. So when you find you're getting things like blurred vision, you find your vision is distorted in some way. That could be early signs of poor cerebral blood vessel circulation. Also, glaucoma. Glaucoma is high ocular pressure in the eyes. So if you have glaucoma, whether it's open-angled or close-angled glaucoma, that is also a key indicator that you have improper circulation in the brain. Don't let anybody fool you and tell you because your mother had the glaucoma that you're going to have. No. There's something I always tell persons: genetic loads the gun, but the lifestyle is going to pull the trigger. So even though you came from a family that may have a predisposition for glaucoma, you cannot, or it does not mean that you have to suffer from glaucoma. What is your regime as it relates to hydration? I've often found that many glaucoma sufferers, if not all of them, have serious dehydration problems. Because remember, with hydration, one, a lot of persons do not drink sufficient amounts of water. That's one. They're not drinking the correct amounts of water that they're supposed to drink. Two, you may be drinking the required amount of water, but the way you drink the water, your body is not able to assimilate or absorb the water properly. That's the next thing. Because what a lot of us do is wait until we're thirsty and then we just drink down a whole glass of water, gobble it down. You shouldn't drink water like that. Water is to be sipped. You take your time. And drink water. Because when you drink, you rush and you drink water, then you can cause issues with the body. You could cause problems with your intestines, cause problems with your joints. So those were also some of the things that we highlighted this afternoon. In addition to that, too, one of the topics that we touched on in that discussion that we were speaking about, we spoke about post-menopausal issues. And we actually had someone who had sent a question asking about hot flashes and asking about issues associated with depression, anxiety, insomnia. I also touched on sleep deprivation, because I often tell persons that a number of individuals do not sleep. And the thing with sleep, let me explain what sleep is and what sleep does to the body. The thing is, when you have a certain amount of rest, your body performs optimally because of the rest that you would have gotten. But what you have to understand is that rest and what your body does with rest is cumulative. It's as if when you rest, the body, like, it's almost like if, for want of a better expression, it stores the rest. So you have this amount of sleep here, you have this amount of sleep, you have this amount of sleep. And over a period of time, the central nervous system and other parts of the body become more healthy or healthier when you have proper rest. Now, one of the things you might ask is, how do you know whether you have proper rest or not? And that's pretty easy to understand. So how do you know if you are rested properly? You think you all could tell me? Anyone? This is a question and answer. You all wouldn't allow me to speak by myself or speak to myself, right? So what do you think sleep, when you're deprived from sleep, what exactly is it that's going on with your body? Well, fundamentally, your central nervous system is going to be affected first. Because with the central nervous system, it has to be replenished by sleep. Your liver converts protein to amino acid and amino acid to protein. Your body uses amino acids to make neurotransmitters. So neurotransmitters are things like epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, melatonin. That is an example of what sleep deprivation does. So if you're sleep deprived, you have a liver problem. You have a central nervous system problem. You have a gastrointestinal problem. All those are problems that would arise as a result of not having sufficient rest. And the thing is, you can sleep, there are some people who sleep, but they don't sleep well because they don't get that proper rest that allows the body to heal and to repair itself. Very, very important. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Keep in mind our telephone numbers and locations. We are located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number for Chaguanas is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. And that telephone number for Debe is 223. That's 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And that office is located at the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erie Main Road in Debe. That telephone number again, 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That number for St. James, of course, is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. And that office is located the Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. Let me say a pleasant good evening to Miss Elizabeth Nandlal. Good night to you. Good. We also have Rose June has joined us. Miss Trisha Pascal has also joined us as well. A pleasant good evening to you. So, guys who may have now joined us, one of the things, Miss Hurst, Denise Hurst, a pleasure to have you on again. That product that we were speaking about as it relates to the lignans and what it does in terms of an antioxidant, those persons, of course, who would be interested, we do pre-order for that product. That's in our local market. So anybody in Trinidad and Tobago, we do pre-orders with that product for you. And then, of course, the international market now, we would actually have a link that we could provide for you that you can actually go into the link and just order the product. Keep in mind as it relates to authenticity, because, we have a lot of persons who, little imitation in the market. So you need to be very careful. You have imitation with everything. So ensure that you get the authentic, legitimate thing so that you could have an authentic, legitimate experience. Okay, guys? Ms. Joan Williams, a pleasant good evening to you as well. We're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. We had a very interesting discussion earlier today. As I said, we touched on PMS, postmenopausal syndrome. Ladies, always remember, once you have gone through menopause and you are getting a little advanced in age, I don't like to call anybody old. I believe age is just a number. You look the way you take care of yourself. So if you treat yourself well, you're going to look well. If you feed your body well, you're going to be healthy. You're going to look well. You're going to feel well. Very, very important. You always hear people speak about your health being your wealth, but a lot of persons do not understand what that really involves in terms of taking care of yourself. Earlier today we were speaking about the antioxidant product, we were also speaking about health from a integrative perspective. And one of the things that I was helping the listening audience to understand, someone had asked a question, where they said, you have so many things out here to take now, and some people tend to get confused and that type of thing. And I said, listen to me. You must know the source of the material that you're researching. Always look at where the material comes from. And the good thing about Batson and Associates as advocates of integrative medicine, as advocates of exercise, as advocates of things like meditation, advocates of proper diet ethics, proper nutrition, I always strive to help clients and patients to understand that invest a little in you and invest a little in your health, because you are of no use. This might sound bad enough, but I've always been a practical, realistic person. If you are unhealthy, I mean, we go down in age, you could reach a point in time, you're going to get very old, God's willing, and eventually we will die. We understand that. We accept that. Well, I certainly do. But what I will not accept, what I cannot accept, especially as regards to me and my family, is the suffering. Is you're going to go in your bed and sleep, and during sleep you die? I find that's a good death. Easy. You just sleep, you live out your years, and the good Lord ready for you. But the problem with water getting in your lungs, the problem you're suffering in a hospital, the problem with a stroke, the problem associated with diabetes and the complications associated with diabetes. Earlier today in the segment, we spoke about erectile dysfunction in men. And we were also talking about the scourge that diabetes has on this country, and we need to lift the scourge. Why is it that we have people dying, they're just getting blind, people losing limbs? For what? Diabetes? Diabetes is so hard to deal with. You feel? Why is it that we have more and more women being diagnosed with breast cancer, ladies? And that antioxidant product that we are speaking about, we have a lot of great testimonies with women who use that product and they actually had lumps in the breast. And when they finished the protocol and they went back and they did the breast ultrasounds, no lump. And a lot of women are coming under, I wouldn't say under attack, but a lot of women are being faced with breast cancer and breast lump issues, more so within recent time. And the reason for that, it has a lot to do with the food, the hormones, the antibiotics, and a lot of women getting these problems with their breasts. So check that out. What we're going to do is we're going to actually put some additional information on our social media pages for you guys to get some information about that product, get some information about Batson Associates and what we offer. I often tell persons that, a pleasant good evening to Miss Hazel Cummings. I always tell persons that, always do something on a daily basis to encourage health in your body. I'll repeat it again. Do something on a daily basis that is going to encourage health in your body. Make sure and drink your required amount of water. Do some sort of meditation, some sort of deep breathing. Deep breathing, it does so much for the body. What is your supplemental regime? I know a lot of people, supplements sometimes cause problems with people. There are people tell you, you don't need to take vitamins. You don't need to take herbs, because everybody likes to categorize everything natural as herbs. It's unfortunate how ignorant a lot of people are as it relates to what a herb really is. Because, for example, at Batson Associates, I've recommended vitamin E for my patients or our patients to use to deal with certain things in the body. Vitamin E falls in the category of what is known as tocopherols. So is vitamin E a herb? No, it is not. If you go to your doctor, would your doctor tell you that you can't use or you shouldn't use vitamin E? I don't see any reason why. I mean, granted, if you're on specific prescribed medication, it is always a good idea to get some sort of information from your doctor before you use a supplement. The unfortunate thing is that they always tell you that, but the thing is, doctors know nothing about supplement on the whole. They know nothing about nutrition on the whole. So how can they advise you? And that's where it have people like myself. There's information. You have the internet. Go and read it. People often tell you that you're an internet doctor. I disagree with that. We live in the information age, and it is just that we have information at our fingertips. At our fingertips. I'm not saying that it does not have professionals out there that you could consult, like yourself or myself rather. But there are things that you can use that can help your body. The thing is, if you're a person, because you have different categories of persons, there are people who genuinely do not care about what you tell them and how sick they are. It have persons like that. They don't care. They don't care if they have diabetes. They don't care if they have hypertension. They do what they want. Don't tell. I reach an age. Nobody must tell me what to eat. I'm a big man. I'm an adult. I go there just now. So don't tell me what to eat. It have people like that. And I have no problem with that. If you are a person who thinks like that, I have no problem with that. But do not come to Batson and Associates with that attitude, because we're going to have problems. So before we're going to have problems, you stay in your corner and we will stay in ours. You know why I'm saying that? Because if you are unhealthy, you have to make a concerted effort to eat well and find out exactly what is going on with you. Because if you're hypertensive, because I have met persons who are hypertensive for years, and I do not understand why you have high blood pressure for years. Why are you hypertensive for 10 years? Why are you diabetic for 15 years? Why do you have arthritis for 20 years? Why do you have asthma from birth? And yes, well, not birth, asthma from a child, young child, 10 years, and you're now 54. So you're trying to tell me you have asthma for 44 years? Why? The only people who do the same thing over and over and expect a different result is what type of person? Mad. Insanity. Albert Einstein calls that the height of insanity. We have a question. Let me go to Miss Elizabeth Nandlad. She says, Doc, I'm aware that you use a lot of supplements. I do also. Good. Do you take the handful of supplements at the same time? Most of the time I do, yes. Yes, I do. It depends on now what a lot of people is kind of worry about, Miss Nandlad, is if what you're taking, if I could take this with this and this with that and that with the other and that type of thing. And I could provide guidance in that area, because there are certain things that you could take at particular times that would absorb faster in the body. There are certain times in the body, for example, your gallbladder is open. There are certain times your liver is open. There are certain times your kidney is open. And when I say open, I mean from the aspect of resonance in terms of energy. I mean, that's a whole topic for a whole different discussion. But yes, Ms. Nandlad, you can take them at the same time. Of course, you're careful how you're swallowing. You don't want to just swallow everything just like that or choke yourself. So take your time. Yes to that question. And the second question, he says, can you do grounding at any time of the day or get it early in the morning, as I do? Early in the mornings is always good. Early in the morning is always good. But I tell persons, grounding would help you at any time. We know we have people with busy schedules. We also have persons who, may not be able to do it in the day because they might work shift and those type of things. So as a result of that, I would suggest that you could do grounding at any time. Okay. Um, Trisha Pascal says, when they dead, they done. Yes, exactly the same. And I totally agree, because persons, you cannot just live and say, well, okay, I don't care. I do business. They're telling me, don't eat sugar, don't eat ice cream, don't drink milk, don't eat too much of cake. Don't, and I'm saying, not saying this to me. That's what some people say. We know how dangerous sugar is. I'm not going to go through the sugar discussion with anybody again. Anyone who doesn't know in this modern world how bad sugar is for you, well, then something wrong with you. You're living under a rock. Sugar does so many things to damage the body. That is why diabetes And at the Integrative Diabetes Center, which we operate at Batson and Associates, because we do interactive or integrative clinics rather at all of our locations, whether it's diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular clinics, all of those we do. One of the major things we realize with our diabetic patients is that they do not track their progress. So that's the next thing we need to speak about at some point in time. Excuse me. Yeah, at some point in time. You need to ensure and understand the importance of that. Ms. Shirley Dorset says, good evening, Dr. Batson and team. Always a pleasure watching and learning. Thank you. You're very welcome, my dear. A pleasant good evening to you. So, guys, if you missed that live that I had earlier today, I had 5 people on the live today at 1. When we started 1:30, because we had, as I said, we had some technical difficulty, and it would be placed on our social media platform, and we are actually having an event. That event is taking place at the Radisson. I am part of the event in the sense that I am going to be one of the persons present there in terms of talking about the product, the testimonies, those type of things. Really have a great evening planned for you guys, and that is taking place on Saturday the 13th. So Saturday the 13th of July, God's willing, you could actually call Batson and Associates for tickets. I did this today, so front desk would be aware of it, so that when you call, they'll be able to give you price and all that necessary information. Okay, but it definitely is going to be something that you and your family could benefit from. I often tell persons a lot of the times, persons would have serious issues and they don't know where to go, they don't know where to turn. And that's why the point I was making in the beginning. There are some people who just don't care, but there are some people who just ignorant to the fact. And once knowledge is provided and they understand and they get some enlightenment, they are able to go about and help themselves. Okay, we have a very good question from Ms. Hazel Cummings. Have you set up anything for foreign-based clients in regard to getting products? Yes, Ms. Cummings, we have. What we have done is that with the setting up, there are only certain products that we have available, right? We're doing in the process of finishing everything so that we'll have all products available. Because what happened is that we need to get everything organized with the drop shippers and everything. So that kind of takes some time depending on where the products are coming from, right? But we have done some work already and put some things in place where you can actually get certain products. And I could always share that information with you, Ms. Cummings, as we will be actually launching those. This month here is when we're going to be actually launching those where our international clients could actually go online and purchase products, especially when we do consultations for you guys, because we do consultation with our international clients. And, we are actually able to help persons regardless of which part of the world that you are in. Remember that. Remember, and that especially for me as a practitioner, a lot of people say you can't just take a plane and come to Trinidad to come to see Dr. Batson. I mean, people have done it, but I wouldn't put it through all our problems. I mean, if it is, it can be done, then we do it. But a lot of the time, sometimes it's not even necessary in the sense, I mean, the blood analysis and the magnetic resonance analysis, we always like to get. We can't do that online. But as it relates to the consultation and information is provided based on my knowledge and skill set of nutrition. And that's one of the things I was saying earlier today on that symposium. The knowledge and my knowledge and skill set as it relates to supplementation and diet ethics and clinical nutrition and medical nutrition is almost unchallenged. And I say that humbly. Because when people come to us and I see the condition that some of them are in, I was like, well, why didn't you use A? Or why didn't you use B? Or why didn't you use C? And you know what they said? But you know what they said? Listen to me. They do not know what to do. They don't know. And that is where Batson Associate comes in, to give you the necessary knowledge and the know-how. There are a lot of things out there that is good. Look, for example, ginger. Ginger has loads of properties for the body. But a lot of people don't know how to use those things. Some people use too much. You don't use measurement. Now, I know if you get ginger to just cut it, but I tell persons, for example, take an inch. So if you take a piece like this, and you could use that. You don't want to overdose yourself. But the point is, that's where knowledge and wisdom is power. Very, very important. Okay, Miss Cummings, so note, you're getting that. As I said, we have some products that are available now, and of course, we're doing the broader amount. It's just a matter of putting things in place to ensure that we get that for you guys. Cindy Hoyt, my dear, she says, good evening, Doc and team. Happy and healthy Sunday to everyone. Same to you, my dear. Trisha Pascal says, some people does not even want to go. I tell a person about your company, but that is all I can do. Yeah, of course, that's all you could do, and nobody not arguing or forcing anybody to come to us. I always tell people that we have a lot of clients, and God's willing, we're going to continue to get more. But you see, what you have to understand too, there are some people who, okay, how do I put this? The thing is, everybody looking at a financial consequence. So let me be the devil's advocate and give you an example. So I remember having a discussion with someone recently, and I was telling them about nitric oxide. So if you're not aware, nitric oxide is a gas that is produced in the body or by the body. It is primarily utilized by the endothelial lining of the blood vessels. So it is something that is maximized in the cardiovascular system. Nitric oxide levels or nitric oxide is so important that without nitric oxide in the body, a male, for example, cannot get or maintain an erection. You're going to have serious cardiovascular problem. Your likelihood of developing a stroke is increased by about 80% if you have low levels of nitric oxide. So that's just an example I was giving the person. Now, you have nitric oxide supplements, and there are some that you would get some food. So you get nitric oxide, for example, in things like beetroot. You would also get it in the skin of watermelon and that type of thing. But the amount that you would need, a lot of the times, you may have to go to a supplemental aspect. And the reason for that is because of the situation that you're in at this point in time. You now require a therapeutic dose and not a maintenance dose. I will go again. You need what is known as a therapeutic dose as opposed to a maintenance dose. So what that means. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm treating someone with rheumatoid arthritis, which is a high inflammatory condition. There's a product we carry at Batson and Associates called Inflammation Formula. So Inflammation Formula is a product that has a lot of berries in it. It is designed to reduce inflammation in the body. Now, the thing with this Inflammation Formula is that you could, so a therapeutic dose would be someone with rheumatoid arthritis. So it means if you are getting a therapeutic dose of Inflammation Formula, you might have to use 2 tablespoons and 8 ounces of water twice a day or maybe 3 times a day because of the nature or the severity of your arthritis. But when we have gotten that inflammation lowered and the inflammation starts to improve, and then we see healing taking place in the body, so less joint pain, less stiffness in the hands and the fingers, better mobility, and you start to see improvement, the ESR might go down. That's the erythrocyte sedimentation rate. So we know you're getting improvement. Then over a period of time, you now go to a maintenance dose, which is 1 tablespoon in 8 ounces of water in the morning, as opposed to 2 tablespoons in the morning and 2 tablespoons in the evening. You all understand what I'm saying? So the therapeutic dose is recommended when you are dealing with a specific issue that requires a higher dosage of the supplementation. Tell me so. Good, guys? And that is the importance. So for example, if you get a stroke, if I'm dealing with a stroke patient, you can't use the regular amount of nitric oxide like somebody who doesn't have a stroke. Because of the stroke, you have higher deficiencies, higher levels of issues. This word that came about, you have more comorbidities than the other person. So as a result of that, you need more help and attention. And that is why we always recommend the consultation. We always recommend you do the blood analysis, you do the scan. Because I'll tell you something, a lot of people come to Batson and Associates, and when they come, they get good results. And I've had persons who came to me in 2 months' time, they get good results. And then we don't see them again. And that's no problem. That's no problem. We expect you to come to Batson and Associates all the time. But what I don't understand is that the knowledge that we would have given you and help you, the diets and that type of thing, you wait until 4 years pass and you come and get back sick. Get yourself back to ground zero, worse than ground zero, and then come back for us to fix you. Nah, man. That's not only wickedness to yourself, but that's an injustice. And then you're going to talk about money and expensive, but you have to understand, the longer you leave your body to deteriorate, the more severe your health issue is. It means financially, you're going to have to put out more. Because if it is you, I'm dealing with, like, let's say I'm dealing with someone who had a stroke. The regime for a stroke patient is going to require certain things because you need, they're going to have to rebuild certain things in the body. You need things like your nitric oxide. We need to recommend things from an antioxidant perspective. We need to recommend things from a perspective where we reduce inflammatory response in the body. That takes work. And that is what is very important. Okay, guys? Miss Pamela Moses says, good night, doc. Why, when am I in the kitchen cooking, I feel like passing out? I have to go and lie down in the air condition. What causes that? Well, the thing is, it could be two things. It could be sometimes, well, I don't know how hot your kitchen is, Miss Moses, but sometimes if you're cooking in that severe heat because of how hot the place is, that can give you a bad feeling. And as a result of that, that could be the reason why you're getting it. What could also be a reason, it could also be a post-menopausal situation, and this is not to be facetious or you know, make a joke or anything like that. One of the key symptomology of PMS, which is postmenopausal syndrome, is severe weakness and tiredness, especially in the legs. That was something I highlighted recently. So, Ms. Moses, you maybe want a little rechecking. I don't know what supplements you have. I don't know what you use, but definitely, you know, it's always good to do a reset or readjustment of things in the body. So it's either the very severe heat or you maybe need to pay attention to postmenopause. Okay. Cassie Rampo says, hi, good night. What is the benefits of boron? Boron is good for your bones. That's one of the high aspects, or one of the most important things of boron. It is very good for musculoskeletal health. Okay. Mr. Hayden Stewart says, good evening, Dr. Batson. What causes cold feet sometimes? The thing is, if you go with an extreme temperature, especially when you feel like your feet feels very, very, very cold, and it goes from very cold to very hot, or just stay very cold, that could be a sign of poor circulation. So you need to pay attention to that. Because a lot of persons experience poor circulation. Another symptomology of poor circulation is what we call junjuni, pins and needles cramping in your calves, burning under your feet. That's something you could also pay very, very close attention to as well, where that is concerned. Okay, guys, remember we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson and Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. On YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. You're listening to Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. I have a question from Ms. Trisha Pascal here. She says, I have a question. My son went to do some training for a job. He did a physical. Good. Before the group started, they checked their pressure. They checked their pressure was high. He had beetroot with other things plus his vitamin. What I want to know. Okay, so Trisha Pascal, let me see if I get you. So you said he went to do the physical, and one of the things he used is he drank beetroot and he used his vitamin. So you want to know if, and when they tested his pressure, his blood pressure was high. So I think that's what you're asking me. So clarify and make sure I have everything correct now, please. Thanks so very much. Adana Lindsley says, good night, Dr. Batson. Do you have products for pre-menopause? Miss Lindsley, I have a arsenal of products for menopause. And what I don't have, I will send you to get. But there is nobody coming to me with menopause and post-menopause, and you have problem with depression, anxiety, trouble sleeping. What I will tell you, Miss Lindsay, women who go through this, you'll need to give yourself a good time on a proper protocol. You need to give yourself at least. Now, I have clients who get better in 1 month. I have clients who get better in 2 weeks. But I always tell persons, women, when you're dealing with hormonal disruption, when you're dealing with central nervous system imbalance, you need to give the body at least 3 months to get a definite, noticeable, resounding change to feel much healthier. Okay? So that is where that is concerned. One of the, I could mention some products. One time, there's one we have called Women's Formula that actually balances, Miss Lindsay, your endocrine system. Also, that's like a thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, that type of thing. We also carry Nerve Restore, one of my favorite products. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I had an excellent rest last night and the nights before that, since I started back using my Nerve Restore. That helps with depression, anxiety, problems sleeping. You can also, Adana, you can also check out the resveratrol product. That's spelled Resveratrol, resveratrol, right? So those 3 products, together with some of the alkagen water and with a proper diet, because there are some things, if you're going through premenopause, you don't use it, it can cause, some problems. Food in general. So we'll always try to give you an excellent program to deal with that. All right, Mr. Justin Victor, a pleasant good night to you, sir. We have a question here. This is Monique is asking, what do you recommend if I have high cholesterol so you don't have to go on a statin? And the thing is, if you have high cholesterol, I always tell persons, people who complain a lot about cholesterol, I just say, look at your fiber intake. Look at your fiber intake. So you want soluble fiber and insoluble fiber in the diet. So things like linseed, things like, or what they call flaxseed, chia seeds is also very good as well. When we look at cholesterol, one of the products I carry at Batson Associates is a product we have called Balanced Circulation. That works really good. There's also a nutrient-dense greens that we use together with the roots and the grass. I've gotten a lot of great results with that for persons, because there's this client I had, they had on statins for a while. And what actually happened to her with the statins is that the statins causes problems with her memory. When she went to the doctor and they did a blood test, they realized that, because what I think statins do is that it reduces the coenzyme CoQ10 levels in the body. Now, if you know anything about coenzyme CoQ10, you would know that that plays a significant role in cardiovascular health. So the doctors, and then because of what was going on with the kidneys, they did not want her to use the statin. So in a case like that, we actually prepared an alternative regime that helped. We got down the cholesterol, we also got down the triglycerides, and we also got the fatty liver under control. Because one of the things that we're experiencing with a lot of persons now, you will realize, is a lot of persons are being diagnosed with fatty liver. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the region, and those of you listening to us internationally, if you have a fatty liver, you are in a situation where the old people say, where there is smoke, there is fire. Do not let anyone tell you that a fatty liver is not serious. A fatty liver is very, very serious. Yeah, a little 2 minutes from cirrhosis of the liver. And if you know what cirrhosis of the liver is on. And the thing is, you have non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. You don't only have to be an alcoholic to end up with liver problems. You see, those of you who love dairy, so all the people who love cheese and milk and butter and ice cream, raise a hand. See if you like those things and you don't take care of yourself, you don't drink and hydrate properly. One of the clients, or one of my associates, was on with me today, a young lady by the name of Gloria Charles, and she was describing the 8 rules of health as she sees it. And one of the things that she mentioned is the importance of hydration. Listen to me. You're singing to the choir. I am one of the hugest or the largest or the greatest, whatever way you want to put it, advocate of proper hydration. Make sure and get your required amounts of water in. Ladies, I know you have a little problem with your with the washroom and having to go to the washroom and that kind of thing. But I'm telling you, you do not want to end up dehydrated. Remember, when you are dehydrated, your body takes water from your stool. So it's going to dry out all the stool in your colon, your intestines. And what's going to happen? You are creating an environment that is conducive to auto-intoxication. The prefix auto stands for self, intoxication, poison. So ensure that you hydrate. Those of you in Trinidad and Tobago, you can access our Alkagen water, that premium alkaline water that we use. That water, of course, pH 9. Well, anywhere between 8.59, right? And that does a number of things. It's very good for intestines. It's very good for acid reflux. It also helps significantly in improving your improving the hydration of your cells. Very, very important. As Cassie Rampo says, you need to be hydrated to make sure your cells are able to move. You're correct. Okay. There's a question here. So let me go back to Monique. Monique says, right now, I am trying is Coke, Yatan, and red rice yeast. I know the red rice yeast is really good. That other thing that you mentioned, the Coke, Yutan. So it's Yutan. I've never heard about that. I could always do some research because there are a lot of things out there that even though Dr. Batson is quite knowledgeable, obviously I do not know everything, right? I am one of the first people to admit that. Okay. So okay, good. So I answered that question there. So we discussing health again, health from a natural and integrated perspective. Check out those lovely products that we have at Batson and Associates. If you know someone who has hypertension, you know someone who has problems with poor circulation, check out our circulation regeneration tea. That tea that helps in improving blood circulation. It helps in improving blood pressure. It also helps in assisting with things like pins and needles, cramping in your cars. If you're a diabetic and you're starting to see your toes getting very black, you find your ankles getting very black, you're getting problems with dizziness, lightheadedness. But keep in mind, the circulation regeneration tea works in regulating. One of the things apart from circulation is that it works in regulating blood pressure. So if it is you have blood pressure, high blood pressure, and poor circulation, we recommend you use 1 teaspoon. It's a well-crafted tea in a cup of water. You could use maybe an 8-ounce or a 12-ounce cup of water. But we also have the balanced circulation, which is capsules, which also helps in regulating blood pressure. So if you have poor circulation and you do not have high blood pressure, then we're going to advise you accordingly. You see why a consultation is so important? Right? We want to be responsible. We want to be ensure rather that we have all the necessary information so that we can be able to help you to get healthy. That is the reason you came to us in the first place. Also, continue to get that information on the packages that we have, where we will actually be able to do that live and dry blood analysis, magnetic resonance analysis scan, and that foot detox. Ms. Monique is asking, can your products be purchased in Canada? Yes, some of the products that we now having available for purchase. So I will guide you accordingly where that is concerned, because we'll be actually doing or launching those things this month here with our landing page and that type of thing. So because I'll just tell you quickly without telling you all of our business, one of the issues we had is because we have clients from all over the world and everybody wants to get this particular type of product and that type of product, we have to work out some logistics as regards to shipping and that type of thing. Because with shipping, especially since COVID, a lot of the rules with shipping changed during COVID. There were some things that you could have done via shipping products you could have sent certain places, and then they changed that. And I think they're still now sort of ratifying some of those things. So that's what we're working on. So the answer, Monique, is yes. what I would suggest you do is just stay tuned with us, and within this period of time here, you could always contact our office, our WhatsApp. That WhatsApp number for our international clients is 868-373-2388. And there are certain products that I would have used. As I tell persons, I've been a clinician for over 15 years, and clinical nutritionist for just about the same amount of time. And there are a lot of things out there that could help you to be healthier, help you to take better care of yourself, and give you the results that you're looking for. Okay, so Miss Monique, definitely, and we are going to help you. We're here to help our clients and improve your life. Okay, my dear. Miss Jackie Johnson says, Dr. Batson, does silver have any side effect? No, it doesn't. Let me dispel something for you about people who talk about silver. Silver, which is colloidal silver, so you have colloidal silver and you have nano silver. Let me tell you something. The WhatsApp number is 868-373-2388. So again, that is 1-868-373-2388. So, Ms. Cummins, you got that? It's 868-373-2388. That's for our international clients. And of course, for our local clients, the Shogunas office, that number is 222-8261. That number and location, Shogunas is located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Shogunas. That telephone number for Shogunas again is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Davie is the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Davie. That telephone number for Davie is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220, that's 220-8113, 220-8113. And of course, Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Tobago next week, part of next week, yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, has his open clinic days in Tobago. So you can always call that Tobago number, 226-4553. That is going to be for those of you who need your consultation, your revisits. And we can also make your appointment to have your blood analysis done. But remember, Dr. Batson does not do blood. He does not do scans. Simply from the perspective of review, executive consultation, right? That is my job, and that is what I am exceptionally good at. I mean, I am one of the main persons. I am a blood microscopist trained in the United States. I've also been trained in integrative hematology. So I can do blood analysis, but of course, in the essence of time and that type of thing. Systems work, people fail. We put systems in place with our consultants, very well trained, very well rounded. We have helped so many women with things like polycystic ovaries, fibroids, ovarian cysts. You will always hear people tell you that natural things do not work. I've heard that for myself on many occasions. I disagree, though. I really, really disagree. And the reason for that is because that once you give your body the correct information, and food is information. People don't know that, Food and nutrition is information, because your body has to break down those things. The thyroid is the gland. What is one of the purposes of the thyroid? Sorry, your thyroid controls calcium in your blood. That is information. The thyroid has to send a message to the brain to tell the brain how much calcium to remove from your blood, or from your bone, to go into your bloodstream. So your body don't work by guess. Your body doesn't work by guess. Okay? Yes, Miss Rose June, I am going to send the information to you. I'm going to make a note of it here, and I'm going to send the information for you by tomorrow. Please, God, I'm going to send it for you. Okay? Right. Miss Trisha Pascal, she said, my question, please. Trisha, what was the question that you asked, boy? The question is as regard. Oh, good. My apologies. Right. Would it be true? Okay. What I will say, Miss Pascal, your son, I don't know if he drinks sufficient amounts of water. but he should pay attention to that. Beetroot would elevate the pressure of someone who is not hydrated properly. Now, okay, so let me explain. One of the things that beetroot does, remember, beetroot has the ability to move blood, you know. And notice I'm doing it like this because beetroot has the ability to move. It's going to move that blood through your blood vessels. If the blood is too thick, you're going to end up with a hypertensive situation. So one of the things your son might need to do, I am not aware of the situation, I don't know him, but he may need to look at his hydration. Because there are a lot of persons that are healthy, and I'm not saying that he's not healthy, because you remember, if he's doing training as regards to what he would have gone to do, because you said he had a training for his job, which is a physical. So I don't know if he's well, whatever the field he is in, he has to be fit based on the physical that they're giving them. And there are a lot of persons who sometimes do not drink sufficient amounts of water, and that can cause problems with elevated blood pressure. He also had a B12. Okay. That could cause an elevation in blood pressure. Because remember, B12, how B12 works, B12 is going to affect the central nervous system, as it's going to affect the fight or flight aspect of the body. So that's the autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic, sympathetic. Okay? So I don't know do you know how high the blood pressure went, Miss Pascal? If you could share that with me. Right? Good. Okay. So you could ask that, Miss Jackie Johnson. I want to know about silver. Silver has no side effect, my dear. None whatsoever. None, 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 none. Absolutely no side effects. Anybody who tells you they get any side effects from silver, the only side effect that you may have, and it is not really a side effect, it is actually healing crisis. There are a lot of people who buy supplements. You might hear advertisement, you might hear me talking on the thing, and you want to buy something because you might hear, look, for example, people talking about calcium now, not calcium, magnesium. And you have magnesium citrate, you have magnesium glycinate, there are a number of types of magnesium. And you might go because you're here and you want to try to take better care of yourself. And what you did is when you go and you take it, you start to feel sick. So you might get nausea. Things might come out on your skin. It's not that the product is not good enough. It's not that you have an allergic reaction. 99.9% of the time, it is because of healing crisis. So again, Miss Johnson, there is no side effect to silver. If you go on the internet, you will see them talk about some man who changed blue or gray or something. That was not because of silver. People need to understand the background of that story and what happened to that gentleman, and plus how much silver he used. Like with everything else, there's a measurement and there is moderation involved. But take what I'm telling you. It is one of the best things that you could add to your life. One of the best things that you could add to your life. Do some research and you will see that they use silver. Listen to what I'm saying. They use silver in the medical field, in hospitals. Listen to what I'm saying. To sterilize surgical equipment. If a baby is born and he or she was born to a mother that has a STD, which is a sexually transmitted disease, or a STI, which is a sexually transmitted infection, if that child eye is not treated within 30 seconds of coming out of the womb, that child is going to get blind. The bacteria or the pathogen in whatever that virus or disease is going to blind that child. You know what the doctors do? They would administer silver, colloidal silver, nano silver in the eye of that baby to prevent the child from getting blind. And you're trying to tell me that people who don't know about silver and they don't drink it? Check Batson Associates. We carry silver with mineral formula. We never have enough. That product has helped so many persons. Asthma, sinusitis. You see children? You know, all these little children, you have to go to school, always coming with a runny nose, because you know, school is one of the easiest places to get sick. It's little children. They're running up and down, they're touching their friend, they're touching snack, they're going in the toilet, they're washing their hand. Children. Children are children. And it's very easy for them to get sick. All you need to do is you get some of that silver with mineral formula, put it in your child water bottle, to go to school, or before they leave, you put it in a little bit of water and you give them it to drink. And I am telling you, if you have a child who are accustomed getting sick, if you have a child who accustomed with problem with runny nose and they have a problem with sinusitis and all those type of things, I am telling you, you try that silver with mineral formula. Okay, I have some questions here. Let me see if I can wrap up you guys' questions quickly before we finish. It is already 9. Miss Moses asks, do you accept credit card? Yes, we do. We have our links machine and everything set up, so we accept links and credit card. What we do have a little challenge with is once the internet, because you know the internet in Trinidad, I don't know what's going on with our services right now. Well, again, we have problems with weather too, not only this week, but for a while now, I find the internet is continually dropping and that type of thing. So we do get problems with the machine sometimes if the service is a little low. And you know, in Davie, the service for internet and things kind of a little off. So, Miss Moses, yes, we do. Up to day before yesterday, the machine was used and we didn't have any problems. Okay. Miss Pascal said, oh, she can't remember. That's Trisha. Yeah, Trisha Pascal. So as regards to his son with the high blood pressure, Miss Moses, I would even repeat that. Miss Moses say, okay, cool, and she tell me switch my provider. Miss Moses, you easy, you know. Miss Pascal says, but the pressure can't oh came back normal during the training. Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. But what I suggest your son does, I mean, this is my advice. As I say, I don't know how much water he drinks. If his job is one that involves a lot of physical fitness and he's someone who's involved in physical fitness and takes care of himself, he may also need to look at his nitric oxide levels in general. Maybe his nitric oxide levels are low or a bit low, and as a result of that, that could contribute to that situation. Okay. Miss June Jatan, she says, blessed night, Doc. Love in the house. Same to you. Miss Adana Lindsay says, I can tell you that silver does miracles. When people was getting the flu and COVID and work, I am the only one that did not get sick taking that silver. Yeah, yeah, it is. Listen to me. All you don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you're missing. And you know, one of the last things I'll say before I leave here is, you know, a lot of people don't understand that there are things out there to help you. I always tell people I'm not in the politics of medicine. I'm not in politics on a whole. I believe in practicality. I believe in being functional as individuals as it relates to, you know, what is there. What is there. And, you know, unfortunately, there are so many people out there who suffer for the lack of knowledge. Don't be one of them. Don't be one of them. Arm yourself with knowledge and so that you could help yourself and you can help your family. I have never regretted learning about that silver. That I have been drinking silver and using silver over 15 years. 15 years after God. And I have seen amazing results. Amazing results. Okay, God? Guys? So we know we're expecting a little storm. We're expecting some bad weather. We are all praying people here. So after God, God is always in charge. You know, so we hope that everyone is safe. Make sure and do your necessary, have your little candles, whatever the case may be. Tobago, you are with our prayers, and we pray God that everything goes good and that, you know, we don't have any fatalities or anything like that. You know, as we always say at Batson and Associates, let me just look quickly. Monica says, I have a 86-year-old aunt that lives in Tobago. That is one of your patients. Do you have a schedule that will tell when you are in Tobago throughout the year? I can visit her and make an appointment. Okay, what I could do for you, Monique, I could always put you in contact to the office. And they will give you an idea as our schedules as regards to when we have consultants and that type of thing. So we can provide a schedule for you. I would make sure and provide certain things, but obviously, you know, you have to be a little safe and mindset, you know, in Trinidad and Tobago as we live now. You have to be careful for people to know your whereabouts, if you understand what I'm saying. But I mean, a schedule is nothing to provide in terms of letting you know where we are, when we need to be there, that type of thing. All right. Miss Monique. So you can always request that information and we'll do our best as regards to giving you that. Okay. Miss Rose Jr. saying, when is your next live on social media? I usually have a live on a Thursday. So usually on a Thursday from 11 to 11:25, I do a live. I usually do a live as well on djmamuradio.tt.com, and that is usually on a Thursday from 2:15 to 3:15. And we also do Synergy TV. That's my next live. I also do that live at 5 to 5:15. So there are a lot of the lives. If I join a radio program or a TV program, I would do the live and speak and interact with whoever has interviewed me there. And you guys would be on the live and then after. So I just do that so you guys would have the information. And then, of course, I made the necessary arrangements as regards to in this particular life where I'm able to give more of myself, where I'll be able to answer questions and provide more information for you guys. Okay, so as usual, it's always a pleasure to be here. Here's the man. I say that's good. Your lower number is a bit low though. Okay, I would imagine that was in reference to somebody's blood pressure. Miss June Jatan says, please reach home safe, doc. No problem, guys. So that brings our program and our live to an end. Remember those telephone numbers and locations. Shogunas is 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. And Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. For our international clients, that number is 868-373-2388. Again, that's 868-373-2388. Remember, like us, share us, tag a friend, follow our page, and remember that information as regards to Windows prizes, that $2,500 worth of products and services from Batson and Associates. That's a promotion that we'll be having shortly, and you guys will be able to get some really good information. So my time is up, guys. I'm sorry that I have to leave right now. But again, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. God bless, guys. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Be safe. Remember to be on the watch as regards to the weather. Make sure you follow all the necessary precautions. God bless, guys. Take care. Have a good night.